I think the reason that Emerald wanted to use Zadok for the opening credits was that it's a coronation anthem, and so that's the highest ideal in England of like being the king, becoming the king, and so obviously there's a choir in that, but we changed the lyrics instead of Zadok the priest to Oliver Quick at the beginning, for anyone who might have caught that. And then for entering the maze when they find Felix's body, and we really like the idea of solo treble just almost on their own, just singing on the reveal. We tried it lots of ways. We did it where the reveal was huge, but actually she really liked, and that's something that was really interesting for me working on the film, is so many cues add. You start with a thing and then arrangement wise you add, and as composers we love doing that, and we're taught to do that, to add into the arrangement. Emerald really likes subtracting, so that was the setup for the reveal of the maze, and the reveal of his body is actually coming down to very little. And we did the same thing with the reveal of the father when he's died in the newspaper, where the cue dissolves. So that was a fun thing for me to kind of discover that more deconstructive way of arranging.
So there's a certain amount of popular music in this film. Did you have to be involved at all? Did you write any of the party sequences? Talk a little bit about any contribution you might have made to the contemporary stuff.
So one of the first things I did on the film was, there's an amazing track, Loneliness, that basically accompanies, it's the apex of the party, and it accompanies Oliver stalking Felix with one of his lovers into the maze. And basically Emerald wanted it to turn over into more of a score-like feeling. So I sort of took the stems and subverted them and messed around with them, and then put some string arpeggios kind of over the top. And so that was one of the very first things I did on the film. And then there was a source piece. She framed it to me as, I'm sure composers here have had the same experience. She's like, look, we just can't afford this track. Can you just do something like really, like it's gonna be buried and like have loads of reverb on it. Just do something in 5 minutes. And then you turn up at the dub, and to your horror, it's like 50 dB louder than you thought it would be. And you turn to her and you give her a look, and she's like, I love it, it's amazing. So there is a piece like that when Farley's talking to, and it's on the soundtrack, it's called Spit Roast, with absolutely no innuendos attached. So I did a bit of that as well. But I mean, I think the soundtrack itself, the songs were really about establishing the era and the feeling and the nostalgia for those kind of music, the music that we were all, that kids would have been listening to at that time. And the score is really all about Oliver's journey. So they are separate things. But the one thing that we did kind of take from those sort of songs is the idea of a throbbing synth. And instead of a throbbing synth, we did it with an organ. So it's an organ that's put through a dance plugin to basically throb, sort of almost like you're hearing a distant party happening, but you've moved on and you're trying to hook up with someone.